and welcome to Live Vedanta, a podcast about simple living and high thinking, hosted by Sri Vivek Gupta, the resident guide of Chinmaya Mission Niagara. We all have moments in life where we wish life could be easier. We want to be cheerful, courageous, and fearless, but we feel lost and confused. What can we do to help ourselves evolve in this journey to peace? In this episode, Vivekji teaches us a few steps that can guide us in living our lives more intentionally. Let's tune in.
Hariom, and greetings from Niagara Falls. For many years, maybe more than 10, every month, Chick West, that is Chinmaya Yuvakendra West, shares a e-newsletter. And the editor every month asks me to write a message. And I have delegated one of our team members to write that message, for which I get the credit. I'm going to read to you the message for this month because I feel it very much applies to this course and all of us. Listen carefully. True self-care is not salt baths and chocolate cake. It is making the choice to build a life you don't need to regularly escape from. And that often takes doing the things you least want to do. This is a quote from Brianna Weiss. Now the message continues. In our society, the term self-care is bounced around a lot with recommended activities like coloring, drinking tea, calling a friend, etc. Inherently, there is nothing wrong with this. After all, the intention of investing in oneself is noble and necessary. For when we have the right relationship with ourselves, we can care for others and our earth in an equally loving way. However, with more honesty, one might observe that the term self-care is often misunderstood and used as a disguise for validating indulgences or escapism. If we want to care for ourselves in a nourishing, lasting, uplifting way, we must shift our vision of self-care from short-term pleasures to long-term practices. True self-care is made up of small, achievable habits that bring calmness to the body, quietness to the mind, and stillness to the intellect. This month, introspect on your self-care practices, and with Viveka, assess what they are feeding, the senses or the self. In the spirit of Deepavali, recommit to one practice that you know is good for you, that you've been holding yourself back from, like writing or japa. Dedicate yourself to this daily and reflect on how you feel come December. What do you think of this message? This is an awesome message. This has made me think a lot about how what we're exposed to typically makes us weaker. And what this course is doing to us, and we're not exposed to it so much. 1 hour a week, I only speak for 30 minutes of this 1 hour, is making us stronger. Our headspace, the 28th headspace word reflection, kshama, or forgiveness. Like I shared with all of you in reference to seva, the benefactor is actually the beneficiary. The one who asks for forgiveness, the one who gives forgiveness, is the one who benefits. The 29th headspace, Swadhyaya. In English, introspection. The more one externalizes, as in they don't introspect, the more they complain, blame, and annotate. When one practices introspection, any stress, anxiety, etc. in their life, they own that in the sense that they know that they've caused that and they are responsible for uncausing that. Our 30th word, abhyasa. In English, practice. One of the English words for viveka is common sense. We are orienting ourselves, we are immersing ourselves in a subjective science. Isn't it common sense that you would have to practice this? An objective science you don't have to practice. For those who watch the show Ted Lasso, some of those sports commentators have never played football before, correct? For them, it's an objective science. We are not in an objective science, a subjective science. We have to feel this, practice. And our 31st headspace is yajna. In English, dedication. Some of us are dedicated to joy. Some of us sacrifice joy. In Sanskrit, the words are, some have samiksha. This is a lovely word that means vision. They're ones who know that joy is not going to randomly wander into their lives. They have to pursue this, the pursuit of peace. Others engage in pratiksha. Pratiksha means to wait, to procrastinate. They feel that if I keep on waiting, one day I will be joyous. With such a strategy, the only maturity that happens is of the body. There is no mental maturity that comes with this lack of vision. We continue. The 32nd space in our mokshapata. Do you all remember space 1? We've left that a long way ago. That was avidya. We're already on space 32. It is dana. Dana in English means generosity. I have spoken about dana, generosity, a lot in the past 18 months since COVID has been affecting humanity. So I'm asking you to remember what I've been sharing. Tell me, what precedes dana or generosity? What causes one to practice dana or generosity? Good. In English, gratitude. Do you remember the Sanskrit word too? It sounds like dana. Dakshina, solid. Dakshina or gratitude is the catalyst for dana or generosity. I want you to reflect on personalities you know well that are generous. Can you connect them being grateful to generosity? I think so. And those who are ungrateful, they feel that they never have enough because they don't feel they are enough. So they keep trying to hoard more, collect more. You know, all those shows about hoarders. I think they should enroll in this course. Now, one more sentiment. So we have gratitude causes generosity. What does generosity cause? Dakshina triggers dana. What does dana trigger? Let's see if you remember this. Contentment. That's a fine thought. You know there's going to be alliteration. So it is daya or grace. Generosity is preceded by daya or grace. When one gives, they give that which is positive. What comes back to them? That same positivity, correct? I've shared with all of you many times that living is like a mirror. If you're angry, the world is angry. If you're cheerful, the world is cheerful. So those who are generous find there's more grace in their life. Living becomes easier. In terms of generosity, what can we give? What are the three facets of you that you can give? Time, resources, and effort. Lovely. In order, from easiest to hardest, resources, time, and effort. Why I'm qualifying this as easiest to hardest, I want you to think of someone you personally know who's beyond resources or beyond money. For most of us, that's a child. It is much easier to give a child a resource in the form of a present than it is to give a child time. Everyone agrees? And even more difficult is to give effort in the sense of becoming more patient with them, becoming more cheerful with them. The same applies for our Sadguru Shishya Parampara. They're beyond resources. What we can give to them is time. And what does a Sadguru finally want from a Shishya? Effort. Effort to become joyous. So as we're reflecting on generosity, intensify what you're being generous with. From resources to time to effort. And in our culture, for those in our Vedanta and Bhagavata class, I was very overt about this. Dana is to be practiced daily. Every day. For all of us, isn't it fascinating that Thanksgiving is associated with Black Friday? Yes? And now what is built around that? Giving Tuesday. But isn't Giving Tuesday near tax? Not tax season, but that's when people give more, when they're clearer about their taxes, correct? I should give because I get a benefit from this. Why don't you give in January? Why don't you give in March? No, we wait till November and December. See how conditional our giving is. But those who give daily, they train themselves to give unconditionally. That you give and there's no sense of reciprocity. That is an awesome way to live. And what an awesome class and course we have. That dana is not just defined in a simple English way, but we keep zooming into this about how this can become part of our day. We continue. Our 33rd word is tapaha. Tapaha. In English, toughness. Toughness. How many of you feel that your friends would describe you as tough? By show of hands. Your friends would describe you as tough. Okay. Reflecting on this more. Comfort and discomfort. Is there any experience that is inherently comfortable? Any experience inherently uncomfortable? Yes or no? How many of you like to fly. You find flying to be comfortable. Let's just take pre-COVID. Okay, now, which seat is your ideal seat? The aisle seat, the middle seat, or the window seat? Which is your most comfortable seat? Aisle. Okay, so maybe I've been proven wrong because no one's writing middle. Maybe the middle seat is inherently uncomfortable. I'm a window seat person. I like to just treat that as my cave where I don't look at anyone. I don't talk to anyone. I don't eat anything. I don't drink anything. I put my headphones on, but I don't even listen to anything just so nobody talks to me. What I'm trying to share here is that comfort and discomfort is highly personal. You choose based on your thoughts what is comfortable and what is uncomfortable. And so, what tapaha is, it is accepting that you have a perspective on comfort and discomfort, and then adapting to make all more comfortable. But if you don't accept that this person makes me uncomfortable, or this circumstance makes me uncomfortable, you will never change your mind to make that uncomfortable, correct? But if I accept this person makes me uncomfortable, then I can change myself. That's the toughness. Tapa literally means burn. Burn what? Comfort zones. In a secular sense, we say, push the envelope, correct? Push your comfort zone out. But first you have to accept that you have a comfort zone. And a really high thought for all of you. The fulfillment of tapaha is not having a comfort zone where you are comfortable, period. There's no sense of zone. Now point to me. Who are you most comfortable with? Yourself. Even when you haven't brushed your teeth, you're still comfortable with yourself. Yes? So now, connect the dots. What is the fulfillment of tapaha? Where you have a sense of oneness with all. By practicing tapaha, one stops escaping from pain. And this naturally is a catalyst to embracing peace then. I continue our 34th headspace, a very popular and powerful word, dharma. Dharma. There was a show called Dharma and Greg, correct? Did I say that correctly? I'm appreciative, not of the show, I've never watched it, but the fact that they called it Dharma, and not Dharma, or whatever else they could have pronounced it with. Dharma. Dharma in English means responsibility. Responsibility. This definition is more along the lines of a noun, but my question for all of you is, when you practice your responsibilities or engage in them, what happens to you? Dharma also has a meaning that is a verb. What change manifests in you? You feel more natural, more satisfied. Yes, yes, but I'm looking for a specific word. It is integrates. Dharma integrates. Specifically, the mind and the intellect. This integration happens through responsibilities. When I'm irresponsible, it's like my mind and intellect disintegrate. When I am responsible, they integrate. Signs, personal signs of whether you're practicing dharma is you have less dislikes, which naturally will then bring having less likes, which naturally is bringing less of a sense of individuality. Less of a sense of individuality. So how do you know you're integrating yourself? Where you feel less like an individual. And one more reflection on this. The more you feel you're an individual, the more complex your life is. The more you feel part of the total, the simpler your life is. Yes? Can you all see that playing out? Individuality equals complexity. So if all of you feel, or some of you feel, that your life is too complex right now, it's not because of the circumstance. It is because of that sense of individuality, which is holding us back from our responsibilities. Those who have dealt with their dislikes, their likes, they become more courageous. Being a responsible personality, is a fine expression of being courageous. We all think of courage as heli-skiing and skydiving and so on. That's all just being daring, and it's adrenaline oriented. But every day going to school cheerfully, every day washing the dishes cheerfully, every day asking for forgiveness, offering forgiveness, that is what courage is. And courage is the stepping stone to being fearless. All of Bhagavad Gita, this amazing text of 700 verses, we're investing 1,000 mornings into this, at least, is all to develop fearlessness. So how can I get there? With more courage. And one more reflection for everyone. One of the greatest leaders in our culture and history, his name is Raja Prithu. I've now talked about him many times. I will be very happy if there's some here who have never heard of his name. Why I will be happy? Because now you're exposed to the greatness of Raja Prithu. He said that every citizen, now so many of us were tuned into Global Citizen, correct? The concerts with Beyonce and Eddie Vedder and so on. Every citizen in the globe should follow dharma, facilitate dharma, and felicitate dharma. You follow that for yourself, you facilitate that for others. And if others follow, what should your relationship with them be? Felicitate them. A practice that I've observed in our society, and particularly with families, is where we appreciate excellence over responsibilities. I try with our children to appreciate when they work hard, when they put their dishes away and so on, not because they can sing a clever song in the car, or they've learned how to write better, or they can color in the lines. Where will that take them in their life? I can barely color in lines, and here 100 of you are listening to me right now. So I don't know if that's embarrassing for you or for me. So it is to felicitate those who are being responsible, those who are integrating themselves. And one final headspace I'll just introduce right now. This is 35. This is the least practicable word I feel that we've come across thus far. This is a more technical word, prarabdha. Prarabdha. In English, this means effect. That's with an E, effect. Tell me in the chat, give me an English word for Ishvara. Ishvara. God, collective mind. I really like when you participate in the chat. So whenever I ask you, please do participate. This is our most interactive course, as I mentioned. So I'm just expressing my felicitation of your dharma. All of your words are correct. I like to think of Ishvara as the creator. You're right, I'm right too. Now, the creator is also the controller. The creator is also the controller. Like, though I own this computer, really Apple is the controller of this computer. Sometimes my camera works, sometimes my camera doesn't work. Who knows what's happening? So Apple is the Ishvara of this computer. And the Sanskrit word for this controller is Nigraha. Nigraha. So Ishvara is the Nigraha. And now we're all more afraid of this and controller. The controller is also the blesser, the one who blesses. And the word for that is Anugraha. Anugraha. Our creator is perpetually blessing us. How? Every one of us has a custom designed life. Some of you have a custom designed home. Shaquille O'Neal has a custom designed car. We have a custom designed life, right down to the texture of your hair. This is super custom designed. As an example, Sheila and I, she is way more dharmic with her oral hygiene than I am. Yet, a dentist whom I recently went to will state the opposite. And my point is that my oral immunity is custom designed for me. Her oral immunity is custom designed for her. This custom design is for us to evolve. Your family members, the city you live in, your health conditions, all of this is custom designed for you to evolve. What is evolution? Smiling more, laughing more. That's what evolution is. And so, if we are intentional, as in we make use of this custom designed life, we will change and the world will change. If you live so beautifully tomorrow, what will you experience on Saturday? Even more beauty. Imagine every day we live beautifully. What else did you expect would happen? There will only be more beauty. That prarabdha becomes agami, which becomes sanchita for those who know those words. The effect causes another effect, which causes another effect. Prarabdha. And I know for some of you this is tough. So I'll show you a picture, okay? There's prarabdha. Can you see those dominoes? Every day affects the next day. Every thought affects the next thought. With this, we've now completed more than 1/3 of our game. When people ask you, what do you do on Thursday night? You tell them, we play a game. And they're all like, yeah, so creepy, like Game of Thrones or, the movie Saw, this is a game too. No, this is a game where we're training ourselves to smile more, to laugh more, to be free.
If you enjoyed what you heard or want to learn more, share this episode with a friend or find us online at facebook.com/cmniagara. For those on the journey of self-development, Chinmaya Mission Niagara provides a community forum for seekers to listen, reflect, and contemplate. This podcast is produced by the Young Adults of Chinmaya Mission, an international nonprofit working to transform individuals through the knowledge of Vedanta. Until next time, inspire, love, be.